Hello there. Well, I'm in Hollands Wood campsite. I usually visit this once a year just before it opens. It's a campsite that's always been rather controversial because it's a good classic example of recreation up against conservation. Hollands Wood campsite is quite a large campsite. It's got a tarmac road through the middle. It runs through a pasture woodland, which is quite a rare habitat. Not so rare in the New Forest, but it's certainly rare nationally and internationally. Now, the last time I came here, the campsite was managed under a 50-year lease with options for a longer lease. But since then, the Forestry England has bought back the lease, and now Forestry England has released it on a much shorter lease. I don't think it's about 5 years, I think, and they've leased it to an organisation which runs the New Forest show. So it's a locally based organisation, and it's hoped that the problems of camping in an ancient woodland, which obviously gradually destroys the woodland because you have to cut the dangerous timber to save the campers from injury. My feelings now are that I don't think we're going to get it closed, but I think it should be managed the same way as other pasture woodlands in the New Forest are managed. Indeed, there's a management plan for this campsite which I have seen, and it says that if you fell a tree for safety reasons, or the limbs from that tree, they should be placed at the base of the tree and should be left in situ so that they go back into nature. And that is the normal practice. It retains the biomass within the woodland, and the dead wood provides an awful lot of biodiversity. But that's not happening here. Some of the trees have been felled and then they're chopped up so that the branches don't create new places for regeneration within those timbers. There are some good bramble thickets here, but the only regeneration I've seen in this woodland today is hawthorn mainly, and I've seen no oak regeneration at all. There might be some younger birch on the edges, but it looks pretty sad state. There's a lot of bare ground. I don't know whether you could estimate the bare ground, but most of the campers that come here in Easter will be pitching on earth rather than grass. It really does need resting, parts of this site. Anyway, I thought I'd have a look at the site. I'd look at it every year, and it's still a nice woodland. There's some wonderful big oaks in here, but I see no regeneration. Eventually, if camping continues the way it is managed, there won't be a woodland here in 50 years time. Anyway, that's a bit of a grim picture, but I thought I'd give it an appraisal, and it is still in rather a sorry state. There's an example where the tree has been chopped up. There's no canopy there, so there's no enclosure, natural enclosures for regeneration. Now, there's a lot of bare ground in this campsite, and the ground is very compacted, which is very bad for trees, especially old trees. I think I would estimate that if you include the paths as well as this bare ground, I would say 50% of the campsite has got this bare, compacted ground. Now, this is an example where they have tried to leave some dead wood, There's not any branches there or canopy, but it is an attempt. But just leaving a piece of timber like this without the branches doesn't really help at all. You can see how the woodland is thinning out. We believe it's lost 50% of its canopy in the time that it's been a campsite. I know of no example anywhere in Britain or Europe where you would be allowed to camp in such a special site as this. The amount of designations that the ancient woodlands of the New Forest have is quite considerable. Well, that concludes my visit to Hollands Wood campsite in the New Forest. It is a quite a large campsite. I believe there's up to 900 pitches, and it's nearly a mile long. So it is quite it has a lot of impact on a woodland in the New Forest, and I think it's a matter of, do you want to protect these sort of woodlands, or are you prepared to sacrifice them? And that could be a very slippery slope for many of our woodlands. Anyway, goodbye for now.